G'day, everybody, and welcome to another DUC Migrating to Australia podcast. My name's Wes Zan, and today I'm joined by Sarah Kerr as well as Ryan Jackson. So, Sarah and Ryan, welcome.
Hello.
Good morning or good evening.
Yes, 7:38 here on the 3rd of the 2nd, 2025, and it is absolutely boiling here in Melbourne. Well, it's a bit of a heat wave, I think. I think we've had February is always the hottest month, I feel. Growing up, guys, I always thought like Christmas was like the hottest month, like December, but I don't know what's happening with the world. But it feels like it's more February now it's nice and hot. Where are you guys coming in from?
We're down in Southampton over in the United Kingdom.
Yep, nice.
So it's not as hot as that here. It's grey and probably about 6 degrees, but it's dry, which is the main thing.
Yeah, no, that's good, Ryan. So, mate, you're a Sparky, so you're the main applicant for the visa. And what do you do for work, Sarah?
I work for a housing association, so I manage a variety of different trades that fit kitchens.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, been there about 15 years now. So,
do you work for yourself, Ryan?
I'm self-employed.
Okay, so do you do all the electrical work for Sarah's company, or?
No, I subcontract to basically over here, subcontract to an agency and then work for a company. So at the moment, I'm currently working on a big new build hospital.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's been there about 18 months now. So it's been a nice job to be on.
Yeah, I bet. So look, we've also got young Lily in your family. So how old's Lily?
She will be 4 in a couple of weeks.
Oh, nice.
So nice. Have a little birthday party with her friends, and then we'll be off. Hopefully, that's the plan.
What do you do for the birthday party?
We're going to a little role play village and have arranged for a princess to turn up and sing them some songs and play games. So she'll be happy about that.
That's good. He's not Ryan dressed up as a princess, is it? It's actually another person.
Only for the weekends.
Only for the weekends. There you go. We've got to, keep these podcasts clean, Sarah, by the way. What Ryan does, I use a Sparky though, so I get it.
Yeah.
They're all the same. No. Okay, cool. So where are you guys at the visa process?
So we've got our visas granted. So we're coming over on a 491 visa. Yep. So we're literally ready to go. We're just waiting for the sale of the property over here. And once we get an exchange date for that, we'll be literally booking our flights, and coming over. Yeah, I mean it's been nearly 2 years in the making, so we're desperate to get over now.
Yeah, we're living out of. We've got the suitcases are out, and we're living in boxes at the moment. So we're just gradually selling things, and hopefully we can get some news on the house, and then we can actually start to make some plans over there, which would be good.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So how is it living out of boxes? Is it all right? Do you squabble a lot? Or are you sort of, you're all right with it? You're dealing okay?
We're okay, are we? I think Ryan's losing the will to live a bit, aren't you? I think because he's the one that's put all the hard work in over the last couple of years. It's like we've got this visa now. We're just desperate to get over there. So
because the visa's got granted in August last year. So they got granted on the bank holiday over here in August, and then we flew out to Bali like 4 days later to meet some family who actually live in Australia, and we went over to celebrate a 40th birthday in Bali. And then when we returned, we put the house on the market. So we've been itching to go since August, basically.
So that obviously, just to go back on that, so you've actually had the house on the market for quite a while. So is it difficult selling properties at the moment in the UK?
It sold fairly quickly, didn't it? I think it sold within about 3 or 4 weeks of being on the market. It's the market's a bit funnier at the moment just because of the interest rates, etc. And obviously house prices here are quite expensive. But the frustrating part of the process over here is once you sell the property, it just seems to take so long for your house to complete. I mean, we've got first-time buyers buying this, so there's no chain, but we're still like 3 months down the road, and we haven't got an exchange date yet or a completion date. So that's the frustration on my side, because, like Sarah said, we're living in boxes and we're trying to sort of plan our life in Australia, as in handing in our notice at work and booking flights, etc. And it's literally just the process of selling the house that's holding us back. So it is frustrating.
Yeah, it's It's probably like, I guess none of it's fun. We always talk about this in the podcast.
Yeah.
I think I need to come up with new material, but it isn't. None of it's fun, is it? Like
No.
everything you do is challenging, and
Yeah.
I guess the good news is, guys, you got a bit of equity.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. It's the benefit
Yeah.
of it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's what we're going to use, aren't we,
Yeah.
to
To
start
start.
up over there. And like we were saying, we're using Becci from the Down Under Centre for our as a relocation agent. So
Yep.
she's been really helpful. So she's just waiting for us really to let her know, and then she can start viewing some places, which should be good.
What's the attraction for you guys to the Gold Coast?
So we've both got different thoughts. So my brother lives in Brisbane. He went out on a work and holiday visa, I think in his late 20s. So he's married to an Australian. They've got a family over there. So the 491 visa, where we couldn't live or work in, in any of the major cities, we were looking at the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast, and we were sort of reading different bits online, talking to different people, and I think it made sense just to be the Gold Coast, which is not going to be far from where he is. So yeah, and also it just looks really nice there. It's a nice place to live on the coast.
Have you been there before, to Oz before?
I'd never been. We started talking about the process and the idea of moving to Australia back in the tail end of 20. I was more than willing just to, go for it, even though I hadn't visited
Yep.
Australia. Somewhere I've always wanted to come, and it's sort of been, I guess, a burning desire of mine. And the way I was looking at it, well, it's better to regret something you've done than something you haven't. So let's just go. But Sarah's like, no, come on, you better go and visit. It's a long process. It's a big change, life-changing decision. So I literally flew out on my own on the 1st of March 2023. It's just a quick visit, 10-day visit, or 8 days because you're obviously the flying. And I literally just spent that time going around Brisbane and just checking out Brisbane. Really didn't see anything. I didn't go down the Gold Coast. I just sort of fell in love with it straight away, and that cemented the idea of it. And I got in touch and started the process whilst I was out there. So yeah.
I've been over there on holiday a few times, and I think it's 2015. I had a sabbatical from work, and I spent about 4 months traveling just the East Coast. So I've seen quite a bit of it, so I kind of know what to expect. I knew Ryan was going to love it when he went there. So yeah, it's going to be good traveling around and getting you can see a lot more places, can't you? So definitely. Yeah, it'd be good.
And what's the attraction? Is it moving from the UK, or is it just specifically just getting out to Australia? Like what, Sarah, in your mind, is Australia going to be when you get there?
I think since having Lily, it's definitely the lifestyle for kids. I think it's going to be great over there. See, my nephews are over there, so they're always in the pool, they're at the beach, just the outdoor life, really. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think you're sort of similar, aren't you?
Yeah. I think definitely more of an outdoor life. I know you're saying it's really hot out there at the moment. It's more like, for me, is the weather. I also want, sort of seeing online that tradies, don't work as many hours as we do back here in the UK. So I'm looking forward to being able to, go to work, come home, grab Lily from school, go to the beach, to have more family time rather than being at work 10, 11, 12 hours and weekends like I am here.
I think, Ryan, it's a little bit about, managing your expectations as well, depending on what sort of work you do, mate. If you end up being self-employed, then you'll end up just doing those hours anyway.
Yeah.
But if you are planning on working for a business, I think I've got lots of mates that, being a tradie myself, all my mates are tradies and all that. And you see them, it's very different, because I think when you've got those extra few hours in the day when it's sunny, and it's like you're going to a state that gets a winter, but the winter's pretty mild you probably have like a month where may or may not wear a jacket, depending on how British you want to be.
Yeah.
We got lots of clients that won't do it. We have in our private Facebook group, there's actually a few clients today talking about how they can't believe Aussies don't wear shoes, and they think it's disgusting. Like walking around the shopping centres with no shoes on. And I was thinking, geez, I haven't worn shoes. So we got a new bit. We got a puppy just before Christmas, and I don't even know where my shoes are, because he just runs off to the back of the garden. They're buried out there under the palm trees and all the forestry we've got out the back. This little small section of things, but yeah, wearing shoes feels really. It feels weird, but yeah, I guess you acclimatise to it, and it is.
Yeah.
something so simple about shoes all of a sudden becomes like, where are they? Where are my shoes? I don't know.
It's
Flip-flops. I can't wear the flip-flops. What do I wear?
yeah, it's funny because we're packing up things to go. I'm messaging my sister-in-law saying, "Am I gonna? Do I need these boots?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're probably going to be living in flip-flops or trainers, so I won't worry about it."
I know. Do you know what activewear is?
Yep.
Like, so when I used to travel to Oz, like, I'm an old man now. I'm in my early 40s. And I remember, like, because I was gone for so long, when I would catch up with all my friends who were female, they're all, most of them mums, and I guess, and I couldn't believe all the activewear that people wear
Yeah.
now. It's basically like the activewear shorts and like a training top, but they wear it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the mums on the school run, they just wear it. Like there's no, even I don't think many of them actually go to the gym. They just wear it. It's just like the fashion that they wear.
Yeah, comfortable. We were saying that actually when we went to Bali, we met some of the Australians over there, my sister-in-law and her friends, and they all wear that, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But then I guess if it's comfortable, then why not?
Mate, it is. It's so easy. Like, well, you saw me now. I was like apologising because I've just got like a singlet top on and a pair of boardies.
That's what I'll be living in.
Yeah, you look
it
forward
is.
to
It's
living in that,
comfy
aren't
and
you?
it's so easy because like there's no washing. Well, there is washing, your jocks and all that stuff, obviously. But, like it's like minimal.
Yeah.
Like, in winter when we were in the UK, there was like, a t-shirt, a shirt under the t-shirt, a shirt to work. Under the shirt was a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And then trousers and then socks.
Yeah.
And all that. And like, good to wear socks.
I think that's what Lily's looking forward to. She keeps saying, "Am I going to be living in Crocs? Can I wear my shorts?" I think she's just looking forward to not having to layer up with coats, hats.
Definitely.
Have you seen that? There's a word for him. I don't know the word, but Santa Claus got my children a few of these. They're the things you put in the Crocs. Have you like the little figurine things? Have you seen
I've seen them. Yeah, I have seen them. I can't wrap my head around Crocs. It's just something that I can't and won't ever wear.
We'll see.
Nurses wear them in the hospitals.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, which I understand. I know that there's certain areas that they are worn, but I personally, for me, I don't think I'll ever be able to wear them. But
give it a few months, we'll see.
A couple of my friends at work wear them, and they've shown online. They show that you can get a cup holder for them now, and you can get a clip which goes on the back that you can put your cigarettes in as well.
Jesus.
Yeah, so to me, it's all a bit bizarre, but
yeah, why not?
Floats the boat, I guess.
You get away with them. Like my middle child, Jackson, he's always about, like, you sort of push him into little holes. He's like it's Batman or Spider-Man. Then he'll go, "Nah, I'm all about dinosaurs today." So I spend the morning just pulling all of them out and then putting the new dinosaurs one in. And, his left shoe might be dinosaurs. His right shoe might be, Batman or Spider-Man or whatever it is. But they've all got it. So it's kind of convenient because it's not like you're buying them new shoes all the time.
Yeah.
Because they sort of stretch a bit, the Crocs, and then but they look cool for the kids, and they can swap the things they put in them. I forgot the word of it, but anyway, it's
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I think for kids, it's brilliant because, like you say, it's something that it keeps them, it gives them something to do, I guess, and like you say, you can swap things out, and it's not. I guess it's not expensive either.
Nah. Cheap, mate, cheap. So we're going to see Ryan out there with his cigarette holding phone. Sarah out there, sparking around. No, it's pretty good, guys. And how's the obviously, like you spoke about the housing and that side of it. I'm trying to sell that. How's the family been and everything? Have you had any other challenges you'd like to let the listeners know? Maybe they should be cautious about. Any ideas of how to break the news to family and everything?
I mean, to be honest, I was pretty brutal. I just told my mum and dad, I said, I've got some bad news for you. I'm moving to Australia. Don't know what other way you could really do it, how to do it. So I just told them as it was, and they asked some questions. And, they are upset. They don't want to see us go, but they totally understand why we're doing it. My dad had an opportunity, I think, back in the 70s. He's a motor mechanic by trade, and he had an opportunity to come out to Australia. He had job sorted, accommodation sorted, everything sorted, and then his family sort of put him off it, so he didn't go. And he's always sort of said in the back of his mind, he's had that what would my life have been like over in Australia. So, like you said, I don't want you to go, but we've got to do what's right for us and our family. So they're pretty understanding, they're pretty good with it. But I guess the other positive from us going is that I've got a younger brother who's 4 years younger than me, and he's married with 3 boys. and they're starting the process themselves of they want to move out and join us on the Gold Coast. They want a sort of better life for their boys as well. So they're actually flying out next on Valentine's Day for a holiday.
Just to suss out the
just
areas.
to suss out. And my brother's mate lives at Hope Island on the Gold Coast, and is sponsored by a company there. So my brother's a joiner, so he's going to have a chat with the company to see if he can go down the same route. So yeah, so it's that. As much as it's heartbreaking for my mum and dad that we're going, it's also quite exciting that I'm probably going to have my brother out there as well. So
I think it's a double whammy for your mum and
dad.
dad.
It is. Yeah,
yeah. There's a bit of a double whammy for my family too, because where they've already got my older brother out there, and then now we're going. I think they've had quite a few years of getting used to my brother being out there, but it's just taking another grandchild away is a bit. You feel a bit guilty, but at the same time, they know we're doing it for the right reasons.
It's crazy because like you'll definitely notice that. I think most people will agree with this is even when you're with your family and everything like that, you actually spend more time. Like when I was in the UK, I spent every Saturday, Sunday, I'd be chatting to my brothers and my mum and all that sort of stuff online. And when I've moved back, I probably spoke to them more when I was away. And more quality. Like now they're just they're not super close. Well, one is, but the others aren't. And but you speak to them and it's nice, but it's you will bypass it with technology. Like you've got these things now that we've had these things for a while, televisions, but when you've got your Facebook and all that connected to the TV and the kids are walking around and like their grandparents can see the life of Lily, watch her grow like that, see the benefits out here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because with our phones and with WhatsApp and things like that, I'm messaging my brother every few days, and that doesn't feel like he's the other side of the world. You can keep in contact a lot easier nowadays, can't you?
Definitely. Oh, it is. It's nice, and it's I think that's all they want. All parents want is to make sure everyone's happy and healthy.
Yeah.
And you're making the right decisions. But Ryan, you started the podcast today by saying, well, if you give it a crack and it doesn't work, you can come back.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. You're not signing your life away. There is an option. You get to, you're a UK passport holder, so you get to hold all your rights in the UK. You just got to get through it. Now, so we spoke about Becci looking at some houses in the Gold Coast. Whereabouts in the Gold Coast are you sort of looking towards?
So again, we've been speaking to people online, doing a bit of research. We've kind of seen benefits to the northern Gold Coast or the southern Gold Coast. So obviously northern areas are going to be closer to my brother in Brisbane, but then they're going to be further away from the beach. So I think we were looking at going towards the coast more. So again, we don't really know the areas, but Labrador, sort of Southport, all around there, really. Yeah, we said to Becky, we're not too precious about where we live. We just want to find our feet, don't we, for the first 6 months, see what we can actually afford, and then I guess do some looking at areas when we're over there.
And what does your house look like, Sarah, that you're moving into? Is it like a, 4-bedroom mansion that oversees the ocean?
That'd be nice.
Ryan, or is it, like a 2-bedroom? Like what are you looking at?
We said to Becky, we're quite happy with 2 or 3 beds.
I would like a 3, just for the reason that obviously if we've got family coming over, there's somewhere for them to stay, and likewise if Sarah's brother and family come down from Brisbane for the weekend, there's a room for them to stay. We live in a 2-bed house here in the UK at the moment, and it's just a bit too small. Ideally we'd like a minimum of a 3-bed. I mean, if we could afford a 4-bed, that'd be great, but we're not going to push ourselves just yet. Like Sarah said, we need to get over there, establish ourselves, figure out where we want to live, and then a couple of years down the line we can look at getting something bigger if we want to. So, but yeah, and I need a garage as well. That's one.
We've got to have a garage for Ryan's bikes. Number one, pride and joy.
What, motorbikes?
No, I do a lot of downhill mountain biking.
Oh, you're gonna love Australia, mate. You will.
Yeah, so I've got bringing my bike over, and also it's like for my tools and like Lily's bikes and stuff like that. Because at the moment the stuff's like in the shed, and my bike's living in the cupboard under the stairs in the house, and it's just all a bit tight and cramped. So we don't want to have that situation if we can help it over in Australia.
Do you know what we did probably a year and a bit ago? We had our garage. You always got a door that connects to your garage. So you got a front door where you drive your car in or you do whatever. But there's, depending on where you live, like you can always park your car on the nature strip. or just out the front of your house. Now, where I live, there is no nature strip. So I park my house on the drive. Then there's like a gate, so my car's actually on the other side of the gate. So the kids can play basketball and that. But we actually turned our garage into another room by simply adding carpet.
Yeah.
Putting a split system in. So that was like a couple of grand for a splitty, like an air conditioning unit. I'm putting a bit of carpet on there. Now I've got like a gym room, and then all the cupboards and everything like that. We just put these roll-on doors. So when like over the weekend, we had Jet's mate Sammy sleep, and Jackson had his mate Lucky sleep over. So one of them was in like the TV room, I guess, and then the other two, the older boys, they slept in that garage room.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, and you could still, obviously, that's why I said motorbikes or bikes, so you can still sort of have that. But I would say that with family coming over and you being new, and you're going to have your friends and all that, like you said, and people coming from Brisbane, having a spare room is so worth it, because if you're outside and you'll spend a lot of time entertaining.
Yeah.
And I feel, I don't know, like when you've got a young family, it's hard to go out. I mean, you lose well, you guys know, you've got Lily who's 3. You lose your sort of social life, don't you?
You do, yeah. You do, because obviously you've got their priority, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you're relied on grandparents to do babysitting and they're not around, you find yourself entertaining, or you go into other people who have family houses and all that. So having that extra room is, I think it's worth it, depending on your budget. But it's something that I would, looking back now, we've got a little outback, like a granny flat out the back, and that's just ideal. So when people sleep, they can just stay out there, their own privacy, own toilet, shower.
That's what we would like eventually, if it works out for us over in Australia and we stay and we get PR, then that would be, we would like to buy a property with that sort of option that we could do that. So, like you say, like they've got their own place, they can just go off and do their own thing, and then you can still carry on doing your day-to-day living, basically.
And what about work, Ryan? Have you started looking at jobs, or have you started looking at work yet?
I haven't yet, just because I know, obviously, when I arrive, I've got to get my license, and I know I've got to do some courses. And what I've been sort of seeing and hearing online is that a lot of companies aren't really interested until you're onshore, which I sort of understand, because obviously I can't give them a definitive date yet of when I'm going to arrive. So the plan is, I'm going to have when we land, I'm going to try and have the first month off, so we can sort of get settled, open bank accounts, blah, blah, blah. And when I'm there, I will then start approaching companies for work. I've got a few contacts out there and friends who are Sparkies out there, so I'm going to sort of get in touch with them as well.
We've always got electrical jobs down that way as well. Like it's just something, because obviously we do the skills assessment, so we've always got jobs for for trades. Obviously, we don't guarantee jobs. We're not we don't do that, but we always do. We work with so many employers, and I think one of the main things as well is when you do arrive, just to get that provisional license as quick as you can.
Yeah, that's my plan, straight away.
But get that, and then it's how you're wording it on your CV, that you hold a registration. You're not actually saying you've got your A grade, but you're saying you have a registration, because as a licensed trade, technically you're meant to have a registration to legally be able to work. Now, look, we're not the electrical police or the plumbing police, but some employers, like back home, Ryan, some employers might get a labourer who's been doing it for 10 years to carry out electrical work. In Australia, it's actually classed as a criminal offence to do that. So you will see lots of pushbacks, because you can imagine a place like the Gold Coast. When you think of Australia, that's probably one of the 2 or 3 top places people think about when they think of Australia, right? So people are applying for jobs, they want to move out there. Employers are keen to take them on. But the amount of time wasting, because people haven't got the visa, they haven't got an arrival date, or they're looking to be sponsored, the employee doesn't know about sponsorship, or they get the sponsorship, and when they get here, then they've got to go through that skills assessment process you did with us when they're on board. You sort of really making it clear that you hold your registration, and trying to make that a bit of a priority. That'd be some advice I'd give you, being a licensed trade. Because it's not just that, it's also like your white card as well, which is equivalent to your CSCS card. That's equivalent, because you're moving to a state where the regulator QBCC, they're like you need a license or a certificate to do anything in Australia.
Okay.
Like, I'm surprised I don't have to have a license to do podcasts these days. The way it's going, but it's good because it protects you, it protects them. So if something happens to you and you have a registration, Well, we issued you the skills assessment, so we deem you have the necessary skills to hold a provisional registration for the purpose of migration, and then the gap training is then for you to learn the Australian standards, and a completion of that then be issued with your full Australian qualification, and then you're going to be like an Aussie. You're just going to have a funny accent for a while, but you'll have you'll have that paper. So there is a journey. And what about yourself, Sarah? Have you Ryan's mentioning taking a month off. Are you got a timeline when you want to get into work?
Yeah, so I think we're just gonna go over there, try and settle into it. I think when we know where we're gonna move to, we'll be able to look at kindies in the area, see what availability they've got for Lily going into nursery. Obviously, being on the 491, I know we're not entitled to any childcare subsidy, so that we're just going to have to work out arranging work around that, really, hours wise. And I have messaged a couple of people on LinkedIn, but again, like Ryan said, I think it's more of a case of just giving us a call when you're in the country. Yeah, and we'll see, really. I mean, ideally, I'd like to get in something that I do now just because it's what I've been doing. But I think it just all depends on Lily being in kindy and then at school and then working around that.
If you've been in the same employment for a long period of time, I think in an industry that we still build kitchens over here, there's actually I might have a little contact for you, actually, especially at the Gold Coast too. Yeah, we process visas and all that for a company called Kitchen Connection, which is the old Impala kitchen. So they basically do, if I've got what you do correctly, they go in there, quote new kitchens, and organise everything from start to finish. They use us so they can get migrants coming over doing the task, but also all the CAD and all the computer systems they use to measure everything up. It's actually like the UK company that they use to do that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have any, do that sort of part of it, but it's really interesting because you sort of think sometimes, oh, it's all about Ryan, but so many times it's the partner who end up falling into a good job as well with our contacts.
Yeah, definitely. And there seems to be quite a lot of it's just managing a team, really. So even if it wasn't to do with kitchens, just any kind of role where you're in that, that kind of role where I've got the experience in would be good. But yeah, I'm open to anything, really. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's good. And Lily's probably at the age. Sorry, we're getting a swarm of cockatoos fly over my house. It's an it's a daily routine. Yeah, this massive thing of cockatoos just fly over my house and make as much noise as they can for about 3 minutes, and then they're gone.
That's another thing I'm quite looking forward to, is seeing all the wildlife out in Australia, because you've got a lot of crazy animals over there. Be interesting to see it all.
We do. It's cool. I took the kids to a place. Oh God, I'm going to forget it now. I know. Why do I start this and forget it? It's called the Big Goose. And you rock up, and I took 4 of them. I had the pleasure of taking boys and a couple of their mates there. They were too old for it though, because they're like grade 1, grade 2, or now grade 2, grade 3. Start the new year. But it was interesting. We had Josh there who does has the reptile, so they get to hold a snake. Get to learn about lizards and all that, and then you walk around to each thing. But you got this bit where you walk in and where all the kangaroos are, and it's just unbelievable. Like, everyone's really respectful. I mean, it's Australia, like, we do cherish it. But you got bloody emus just on the loose, and they're in their like little thing, but some of the smaller ones they let out. And you got to put your hand out there and feed them. I accidentally, well, not really accidentally, but my 7-year-old Jax had his hat on. So I thought I'd be cheeky and put a bit of food on his hat, on the cap of his hat. I think he got quite scared when the emu just lunged forward and went for his face. But obviously, it's kind of daunting. But yeah, it's so cool. You just get to walk around, see all the animals.
Lily's gonna love that. We've been talking about it for the last couple of years. She knows we're going, doesn't she? And she keeps saying, "Are we going to Australia now?" And she keeps talking about the snakes and the spiders. And
she said this morning, didn't she? I'm going to stroke a snake. We're like, yeah, you can if we're in a zoo, but if you see one in the bush outside in the garden, you leave it alone.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? That you don't see them, even spiders and all that. Like, yeah, I guess, I'm in regional Victoria, so yes, you might, but it's not. You see the odd one. I think I saw one. My first snake, I mentioned a podcast a while ago when I was doing a golf lesson. This massive tiger snake, just, it was a tiger snake or a brown snake, but it was huge and just skate like when in the cart thing. It just, I was about to say run off, but it's got no legs. Slithered off. As quick as we saw it, it was kind of camouflaged. But you don't see them all the time. But you got some beautiful animals. Like at the beach, like the boys jump off the pier after school most days, and you got all the stingrays and all that. But they're kind of, their tails aren't really in, and you get lots of banjo sharks. Anyway, the amount of fish, and now they just like over summer, the whole, with their crew of mates, it's literally about just swimming in the ocean, jumping off the pier, and then Jax is like, Dad, we'll go snorkeling. And you see fish, but like mainly like flatheads, and it's not like Finding Nemo. You know, you don't see all those sort of coral fish where we are. But geez, it's so good, exploring. Just even my daughter, the 2-year-old, just picking up the shells, Sarah. You know, they all have a story, don't they? A shell. You can make a story up that keeps them entertained, and you know, for the next couple of hours, that shell's Lily's best friend.
Yeah.
Funny enough, she's got a couple of jars of shells just lying around the house. But yeah, that's what we're looking forward to, just being outside with her all the time, and she's just going to love it, isn't she?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me as well is the fact that children can be children for longer in Australia. Over here in the UK, obviously with all the social media and that, I've got 2 nieces, and I think they're 13 and 12, and they're like 18, 19-year-olds. You know, they're not little girls anymore. And I just think social media and all that has a massive influence on the kids over here. So I'm looking forward to coming to Australia, and hopefully Lily can be a kid for a bit longer, because as we all know, as you grow up, life's a bit harder in it, and you've got to,
for sure.
You know, so I just want her to be able to enjoy her childhood for as long as she can.
Play a lot of sport.
You know, just enjoy herself, and worry about the pressures of becoming an adult too early.
Yeah. The key, guys, swimming lessons. If she's not swimming already, swimming lessons.
Loves it. Yeah.
Keep away from back beaches at the start, you know, because that's where you get your rips and all that sort of stuff. So the bays are always kind of nice, and you'll find you'll see kids walk in directions with their parents, and they'll like, because there's so many different spots, and everyone has their secret spot, but it's someone else's secret spot as well. The other thing too, guys, is entertainment on the flight. You know, definitely pack a little kit with like the things she's interested in. And on our relocation website, you should jump on that. So that's on the main Down Under Centre website. There's a relocation hub, and it's really cool. There's lists to pack, and that's made by migrants for migrants. If we've missed something, please add to it. But it's stuff to pack on the plane, and it's so it's awesome. So my wife, aka the director of housing, she's when we went there, the kids, like, we were back a couple of years ago and Jazz was just a baby, but I don't know, the boys were 4 and 5 or whatever they were, 5 and 6, but they all had new coloring books, a couple of new toys. We got what's that thing where you know that little cube and you've got to make all the colors match? It's impossible.
Oh, the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, even that was became like an hour for him to try and do that. You know.
Yeah, we had a bit of practice, didn't we? We went to Bali in August, September time, so we've had a bit of practice to know what it's going to be like, because she's quite full on.
Yeah, she doesn't like to sit still, does she?
No. So for the 13-hour flight, I think it was it Bali to Singapore home. I don't think she slept or sat still for the whole of the 13 hours. So I think we're well prepared for the next one.
Yeah, it is. And because you got to, there's obviously different ways to avoid jet lag as well. Because if you can get the main flight, which is to Singapore, whatever airline you're flying with, that's 13 hours. If you leave in the evening, zonk her out. So she's like 10 o'clock.
That's what
we made that mistake last time. We went in the morning, and then now we're like, no, we're flying in the evening next time, definitely.
Because we're planning to go to Singapore for a couple of days. So fly into Singapore, spend a couple of days in Singapore, have a little check out of Singapore just to break the flight up a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going to do the last leg back, obviously to Oz.
And hope for the best.
Yeah, because I just think if we do that flight in one hit, I think I'll end up having no hair by the time I arrive.
It's weird. It's how you manage your expectations, guys. And it's doing these podcasts, jumping on the relocation website, because you get to learn what mistakes other people did. Like you said it before, you made the first one by getting the morning flight. She's up and about. Of course she's going to be, there's nothing to do. It's worse when they're under 2 and you think, oh, well, we'll be a tight ass and we'll stick them on our lap. That doesn't work.
Oh, no way.
Especially if you've got, it depends on your surroundings as well. If you get it feels like you're on that plane. Like, we never do stopovers. sorry, we'll do a stopover, but I'm literally like, I'll jump on the next. I want to be in, let's say, Singapore for 2 hours.
Yeah.
If it's anything more than 4 hours, I'm like, nah, let's get a flight that matches it directly.
Yeah.
Even though you got that risk of a flight being late, which we've been quite lucky, but then you just get it done.
Yeah.
You're done, and then you can just settle.
Yeah.
And you have things to look forward to, even if it's just like going for a swim. That's what you're saying to Lily. Like, when we get there, we can go for a swim after we have a big sleep
Yeah.
and everything like that. We're going to see the Australian birds, and that can just be a magpie. You know what I mean? Like kookaburra. It could just be a magpie or something, and you can make it up. Oh, that's a bird. Anyway, there's so many things to do. There's tricks to make it work and everything like that. What about any advice you guys would like to offer people that have maybe in the process or thinking about starting the process of the visa? Anything you'd like to add?
I just think just go for it. I mean, like I said to you, what have you got to lose? And if it's something you're thinking about doing, it's obviously something you want to do. So just go for it. Just do it. It is an expensive process. It is a long process, and at times you do think, oh, I don't know if I can be dealing with this anymore. But when that visa comes in, and when our visa came in, we were looking on the Queensland government website, and I kept putting in my visa, and obviously it doesn't let you track your own personal visa, but it was saying that 50% were granted in 18 months, and then 90% were granted within sort of 24 months. So I was saying to Sarah, we're not going to hear anything until this year, like 2025. So I'd sort of resigned myself to the fact that we're going to still be in the UK till end of 2025. And then, like, we were at a caravan park,
just a little weekend
away for the bank holiday weekend, and we were with Sarah's mum and stepdad and some other people, and my phone had died the night before, so I plugged it in, was doing my thing, and then my phone started going off, and I got an email, and I saw it was from the immigration agent, and I clicked on it, and I thought, oh, that's weird, what have I got that? And I clicked on it, and it just said, Ryan, Lily, Sarah, congratulations, your 491 visa has been granted.
No,
I just shouted, Sarah. She's like, what? I said, come here. She's like, what? I said, come here now. And then I just remember like shoving my phone in her face and jumping up and down saying our visas have been granted. And that feeling was the best feeling. So my advice is, all right, it is hard work. And I remember like first starting off having to get all my paperwork up together. And I literally spent 2 whole weeks getting home from work at 5 p.m. And I didn't get off the computer until 11 o'clock at night. And I was printing out all these documents and uploading them. And it was hard and it was time consuming. But looking back on everything that I've done, it was worth it.
Oh,
and once we're over there, it's going to be, the dream. We'll be living the dream. We're not under the illusion that it's all going to be rainbows and unicorns in Australia. We know it's going to we're going to have our moments where it's going to be hard, but it's just a sense of achievement, knowing that you've gone through it all and you've made your dream come true. So just go for it. That's my advice.
No, they're really nice words, mate, because it's so challenging. I think every part about it, especially being the main applicant, English test, skills assessment, practical assessment, travel, concerns, they're things you haven't done before. It's everything is challenging, but yeah, you live once, don't you? And when you get it, you've got this whole, it's like sort of starting fresh. That's what I liked about coming home, like being an Aussie, but I was gone for so long. It was like sort of starting fresh. And I'm still 4 years here now. When you get old like me, you don't sort of see your mates as often you grow up with. And then all of a sudden it's a, long weekend, or you're out and about and you're catching up with people you haven't seen for 20 years. And you're thinking, geez, how good is it to experience that travel? Like that uniqueness, if you guys have a story to tell because you're from the other side of the world, your journey here is like lots of Aussies that don't know about migration. It's quite an interesting story. Like when you start being on site, Ryan, and you're like, oh, I had to gather 8 years of evidence and I had to do this. And this, but now I've got to do the gap training. They'll be like, shit, good on you, man. Like I just did a 4-year apprenticeship. And you're like, oh, where did you, I went to the beach last night, and they were like, yeah, we do that, but now we just stay at home and watch bloody Wheel of Fortune. They've done it. And that's why you see so many migrants out and about, because they're really appreciate
definitely
what we have. And I think one of the reasons why I like Queensland, I guess, is you have got the Gold Coast and you have got the sunny coast, you've got Brisbane, and then the higher up you go, just it sort of gets better. like scenic wise better, like less work opportunity, just to have like a holiday. I mean, you're only a couple of hours away from like Byron, Byron and sort of probably closer than that, I guess. You've got some awesome places in northern New South Wales as well, which is like they're places where people want to retire at. So where you're moving to is like a location that lots of Aussies will save their pensions and their superannuation to go move out that way in the warmer weather, especially from Victoria. It's just how it is. It's so cool, guys. But look, I just want to thank you both for for taking the time. I think you guys have a really cool story, and I hope we get to have another podcast in 12 months when you're here or whenever it is.
That'd be great.
Yeah, have a bit of a catch up to see how Ryan and Sarah are going. So, but again, thank you so much, guys, for for taking the time. And listeners, we'll catch you on the next one. Keep safe and keep thinking of Australia.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us, Wes. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Take care.